Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Keep going until it's like kind of bored up to us. Like, have you ever just sat and thought about these milestones? Like,
For what? I can't look back. Yeah, there'll come a time where I'll sit back and relax and see what was on the right of me and the left of me, and maybe turn around and see what was behind me. But as far as now, oh no, we still got our eyes on that goal we had it on from day one.
Jeez.
We ain't got it yet. First of all, just New Orleans in general is soulful. Everybody looks out for everybody regardless of who knows who or whatever. That's just we have a hometown feeling. You know what I mean? It's a big city, but it's a hometown feeling. And I've been where I'm from, which is Carrollton, Holly Grove, New Orleans. So for me growing up, I was the only child for a long time. I have a little brother now. Shout out Samaj. Yeah, but I was the only child for a long time. So growing up for me, my grandmother raised me till I was about 11. Yeah, and so that older wisdom, growing up, my childhood was I was always a little more different than my friends. I always wanted to hang with older people, and then when I got with people that was my age, around my age, I would notice the difference. You know, you spend a night, you might go to a slumber party, and, you know, all the kids, they begging for juices and this and that, and I'm going to ask the parent or whoever's in charge, can I please have a coffee? Like, you sure that's what you want? You don't want a hot chocolate?
So can I please have a
You
coffee?
want a hot cocoa? Nah, I would love a coffee, man.
wow. You know, that brings
Extra
me
cream,
to what it was
light
like
sugar, please,
growing up
like
with
a
your
funny
mother,
sugar.
too. Masita. Now, I know Masita because my assistant is, you know, she talks to her all the time, and I always ask your mom about you. So tell me about Masita.
No, my mom, from day one, has always been a go-getter. You know what I mean? She's always set a goal, and she's going to accomplish that goal, and then that's never the end goal. And she worked so much, and she was so active that I actually thought she was my sister, and also because she looked so young. Yeah, so for...
Don't play with mama, she like that.
Yeah, I thought she was my sister for a long
Really?
time. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and so, but she busts that to make sure that whatever he wants, he gets. You know what I mean?
And
so,
now you got a little brother.
Yeah.
So what is he like?
Oh, my little bro, he big. He play football, and he in school right now, he in college right now, but he
and you love football, so
yeah,
that's
I love
right
football.
up, right
he
up.
played football in high school. He was a dog. He had a few injuries, but he very much way bigger than me.
All right, so tell us about your stepfather.
Rabbit.
Yes.
I met Rabbit. I was walking home from school. As I'm walking up to the crib, I see in the driveway, I see a truck. You know, like a truck. My mom don't have a truck. So, you know, I'm already walking toward the house, like, you know, like, I don't know what they got going on at the crib. Not already thinking that ain't even at my house, even though it's right in my driveway. I'm already like, yeah, that's somebody next door or something. And so when I walk up, I see my front door wide open, and you know, like, people are coming out of there with like sofas and stuff like that. And, you know, my mom notices me when I walk up, and she's like, "Oh, we moving, baby." She's like, "Oh, by the way, this your new daddy. This Rabbit. This is Rabbit, and
This your new daddy,
to
baby."
the east. Now, by the way, the east is, and at the time for us, that was the part of New Orleans that, you know, you made it. You know,
wow.
when you get to the east, you make, you know, I live in the east. You know what I mean? Like, that's a totally different place to live, or you'd have made it. You're out of the hood. You know what I mean? The east got its own hoods, but it's not your hood. It's not.
So
it's not
the east was on some Jefferson type.
Yeah,
like
so
you
much
moved
shit.
up
Yeah,
a little bit.
Exactly.
And it's
You
your
know,
first time
First
meeting
time.
him. Oh
You
my
know,
God.
You know, he hit me with the, "What's up, boy?" You know, I'm like, man,
I'm
what?
your new
From that
daddy,
point on,
boy.
man, he was like He was younger, and so he was always more so like a big bro that I never had. You know what I mean? I also knew how to be a father when it was time to be a father.
And how old were you when this happened?
Man, when Rabbit came around, I had to be about 12, 11 to 12.
One down!
It's lurking. Well, that's still kind of like that age where he, you know, was like a father.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, no, definitely.
Because he's still young.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was 14 when Rabbit passed, so my mom is she's stoic. The world can end across the street. If it's not happening to Jacita and Dwayne, then Jacita and Dwayne don't worry about it.
Right.
You know, with that said, that mind frame and that mentality also gets you through hurdles.
Right.
So the moment it happened, she already was in, you know, of course she grieved like anyone else would, but he was the family provider for his whole family and of course ours. And from that moment, my mom just stepped right into the driver's seat.
She kicked in the gear.
She jumped in for his mom, for his family, who were grieving obviously extra hard. And it's only an example. You know, I can't be around there moping if she's not.
Yeah, go off, Miss Cedar. I know that's right, but that's good. That's good that you learned a lot.
What I learned about it is she keeps a goal. And that's what it was. It's not about she don't have any feelings. It's not about nothing, no matter. She keeps a goal, and she stays focused on the goal. And if the goal isn't the world's ending to the left and this is happening to the right, then it's not gonna get in the middle of this. And that's what I noticed about it. So I just keep a goal, keep a main goal. You know, she had no problem with giving me responsibility, which helped a lot.
Wow.
Which helped a lot. I signed my first contract at 11.
At what?
Yeah.
At 11?
Yeah. She had nothing to do with it because she was that okay with knowing whatever you're doing, you got it.
At 11?
Yeah.
And how
with cash
long
money.
were you?
I had lied and told them boys I was 12 till they saw my birth. You had to bring your birth certificate for the contract. After it was like, boy, you ain't no 12. I'm 11. Okay.
So did you have a lawyer, or you just signed?
What was that? How you spell that at that age?
Oh, that gotta be one for the book. So tell Soulja Boy he ain't did that. He always said he the first. That 11 years old.
We put out the first album
Missy look
when
good,
I was 12.
boy. I ain't gonna hold you.
I was so young that when we would walk home from school, the album Cash Money, they was known for their album covers. Sometimes the damn album covers be better than the damn album back then. You know what I mean? And for some reason, for our album, they just put just the title.
Yeah.
And so none of my friends believed me. I was so young that we were after school. The ones who don't believe that's me on the radio or on this tape. I'm gonna gather that whole gang up by the end of school. We're gonna walk to the record store, which was Odyssey Record Store, which was the store that DJ Khaled actually worked in, behind the desk.
Damn. Look how 360, how crazy that is.
Yes.
Like DJ Khaled worked at this store.
Yes, and I remember asking him, like, cause I was like, you remember me? He's like, nah. He like used to bring all those little kids and then used to always go show him. So he remembered.
And he remembered?
I'm not about to buy nothing. So cause that's why he would remember. He worked in the store. You know, what are you kids doing if y'all not buying nothing? And I would always go to the album and show them on the back, D. Carter, D. Carter.
Okay, so wait, my question is, did you get bread for signing at 11 years old? Do you remember how much that check was? How much was it?
$6,500.
That was like a Forbes list check.
And I bought it to my mom, and she was like, She's like, this yours. I don't want none of this. And she's like,
oh, but that's
She's
wow.
Like, she's like, what you want to do with this?
Mama named Sita. Like, I love you, Sita.
I want to buy a car.
I was about to say, what did you do?
I went and got a Pathfinder because I had just finished watching New Jersey Drive.
You got a Pathfinder, you couldn't drive. You know, what the hell? So you got a Pathfinder, but you probably was driving.
I was about to say, this New Orleans. That we talk about. And so we talk about New Orleans. I had a child at 13, so.
Right.
Yeah, so we moved a little fast out there. I told you, and also I told you the way she had me, we was different.
So you was picking Toya up in the Pathfinder?
Yes, I was. Yes. Oh, no, yes.
Yeah.
Damn. Nigga was 12 years old.
Well, you know, it is funny.
13 years
when
old.
you think about the era And you were younger, but you still been out that long. Like, you was around that long. But that era, a lot of things that we were wilding, actually.
I had exams to take right after MTV Awards. I was on. You probably said I probably was on performing on stage at some award show. I had to be that award show. Most like BET loved to do their award shows on a Sunday. I went to Maine Magnet. It's a great school. It's a school of. It was a school for education.
Well, did you finish? Did you finish school, or you just went to rapping?
So, it was, I was in the 10th grade, and my mom was New Orleans, and so my mom woke up early that day. I was getting ready for school. She wakes up early regardless. I said, you don't go to school no more. You don't go to school no more because you on TV every day, and you're only going to school because you know you on TV every day.
Wow.
Yeah, and she like, so you just like that, like you're only going to school. She's like, you don't need to get your GED and let's go to college. So I did that and went to the University of Houston.
What's a Walt Disney World thrill feel like?
Busy professionals. What if I built you an affiliate marketing business that made $40K in the next 6 months? Or
what made you just decide, like, especially when it comes to hip hop, you know, people, they don't talk about that, things like that. You go straight into what happened in the hood. Like, did you ever think about just rapping about those things?
I mean, I think I probably have put it in a few bars before I figure out a way to talk about it, because I have nothing else to talk about but my truth.
Right.
You know, and so I always learned how to make the most out of what I have and make you love what I have. Because I always felt that, you know, if you gotta start rapping about something else, you know, then therefore you gotta turn it on now.
Yeah.
When they say go, you gotta turn it on. I don't have an on and off switch, so I just kept it right.
Amazing. Do your children know?
Yeah, they hate that. That's why they ask Regine. Ask Regine. Yeah, ask Regine. She hates the fact that I did that because she like, oh my God, so I gotta go to school.
This week is your chance to try any Subway footlong for free, like the Subway Series menu. Just buy any footlong in the app and get one free.
Everyone loves free stuff, Chuck.
Can we get paid in a footlong? Get it before it's gone on the Subway app.
At Prime Video.
I'm sure.
Well,
that
you
ain't
didn't
my
get a chance
commercial.
to talk about Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob. So yeah. So Uncle Bob. So when the accident happened, incident, whatever you want to call it, when that happened, I was laying on the ground. On the floor in the house, and so you know, the first thing I don't know what anyone else thought if they ever been in a situation of being shot or been hurt and they thought they about to die or whatever. The first thing you think is the white lights. They're, you know, seeing white, and I saw white. It was the ceiling. The ceiling was white. And so my focus hadn't came in. I was looking dead at the ceiling. It was blurry.
But
so that's why, because it was blurry, it looked like just a white abyss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So once and with the doors, bam, boom, 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 that brought me to, and I noticed it was the ceiling, and I was like, oh, I lived. You know, because, you know, that was not my plans. And so I was like, oh. So I heard them knocking.
That was God's plan, though.
Yeah, and so I heard them knocking, and so then they stopped. They stopped knocking, so now I was like, well, you got a choice. I was like, you know, I'm like, I don't feel nothing happen. I don't feel no pain. I don't feel no shortness. I'm like, you don't even feel like you're dying. You know, I'm like, so I literally got tired of waiting to die. And so I was like, you might as well. And so by having enough cotton or whatever, so fabric and the wood and the bullet wound being right there by my chest, I was actually doing the best by putting the compressing it. I turned on my chest and slid all the way to the front door from my mama's bedroom to the front door. That's a long way to the front door.
Where was you was there by yourself?
Yeah. And so I kicked the door, and so that was the last little strength I had in my body. I kicked the door, and so you start hearing walkie-talkies, and as soon as I kicked the door, like, someone's in there, and all that. So they start banging the door, and I was right there. I was like, oh, they gonna kill me. I thought they were gonna knock the door, and I couldn't move. I thought but that's what they knocked it and pulled it up off the hinges. And as soon as instead of it falling, they hurry up and grabbed it, and I was right there. And every single cop Every single cop that saw me jump right over my ass. One of them was like, I found the drugs, I found the drugs, I found the gun, found the drugs, I found...
Stop playing.
And so they had Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob stopped. He would not jump over me. Uncle Bob said, I don't give a what you found. Did you not see this child on the floor? No one saw this baby. The whole time I was trying to tell him, he keep trying to tell me, stop trying to talk. I'm trying to tell him the whole time, I ain't no baby, I'm not a baby. I'm spitting blood all in his face trying to tell him I'm not a baby. Boy, I'm 11 years old up in here, boy, you tripping, boy.
I'm not a baby.
Uncle Bob refused to jump over me. And so he made one of his cops, he made one of them drive. He sat with me in the back seat, you know, the whole movie scene, you know, you're not gonna die on me, all that. We went to the nearest hospital. My mom was so mad. My mama came whispered in my ear when she got close, when she got to me in the hospital, once they, you know, everything was like this. Why the hell you let these people bring you to this hospital? Boy, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this damn bill.
Our people, when I tell you.
You're like, well, why? She's like, well, this bill gonna be so damn expensive.
Well, I tell you, our people is
exactly.
I love her.
So he made sure that happened. He come through that way. Move, move. Give me a doctor now. It's a move. I've seen some real movies.
Now, is Uncle Bob, he's still around?
Uncle Bob just passed.
Oh.
Damn.
Here's one thing you need to do before
That's
buying
crazy.
anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Yeah, nah, Uncle Bob he's home. Now he's back with his wife.
Now, did you like stay in contact with him?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
That's amazing.
I met him years later though. I thought he died.
So when how did he? Maybe he saw you
Missing.
on TV and
I
was
thought he
like,
died so much to where when I accepted my icon award or whatever, I said a rest in peace to him in my speech.
Oh, you said rest in peace, but he was still living.
He was still living.
And he like, wait a minute, like when you said you was trying to tell him you wasn't a baby, he like, I'm still living.
Exactly. So what happened was I was at a restaurant in New Orleans. It was like one of the best little restaurants, but it's so small. And so this day he was in there eating though. And so it was literally the place so small. It was literally who I walked in there with, and his table was right there, and he was there eating with who he was with. That's all the people was in the restaurant. So the waitress came over when she was coming to take my order. She was like, "Baby, the man over there told me to just tell you." She's like, "I don't want to bother you, but he said just say something about Uncle Bob. He said you'll know that." When she said it, she looked at me and said, "Oh, you do?" She said, "Well, that's Uncle Bob."
Well, I know he was proud of you.
I walked over to the table. I damn near crawled over to the table.
Wow.
And I was just like, man. He was like, he looked up, he was like, hey. You don't have to, man, I'm just glad to see that I saved a life that mattered. And he said, I'm glad that you made the most out of the life I saved.
Yeah,
so I was like,
that's amazing.
I was like, man, let me pay for the meal or something. Like, he refused.
That was sweet, though.
And so we kept in touch with him, and then he started helping out, doing stuff for Young Money around the city.
Oh, okay, well,
yeah.
360.
Yeah, so when I met him, when we finally met, he was like, man, if you want to do it, I asked him what you need. Like, man, what you need? Let me do something for you. Like, you know what? I don't want, because that guy, I don't want nothing. He was like, you know what? You want to give me something? Give me a job, man. I'm tired of sitting at home every day.
Presented by Tyson. More choices, more wow, more to love.
We make sit-down chicken, stand-up chicken, backyard chicken, oops chicken, and all smiles chicken. If there's one thing we know, it's chicken, chicken, and chicken. More choices, more wow, more to love. Tyson.
Finding a subtly sweet tea is easy.
Nice, right?
Huh, pure leaf, subtly sweet.
But saying no in a subtly sweet way?
Impressive.
Takes practice.
But absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Pure leaf, lower sugar. Just the right amount of sweetness.
Does a ghost pepper wing that doesn't send you into tears make any sense? Sure does to us. That's why Popeye's ghost pepper wings are more flavorful than fireful. Because in NOLA, we like to taste our food, not cry over it. We don't make sense. We make chicken. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Adventure on a deeper level. The Subaru Forester Wilderness. Dog tested, dog approved.
I admired, I adored everything about. They was everything to me. And also, one of the artists was from my hood, and that's how I actually got my deal.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you, how did that happen when you signed with them? Like, was you rapping somewhere, or was it like?
I was known in the hood as the little kid, the little dude that be rapping. You know what I mean? So the artist that Cash Money had at the time, he'd heard me rap a million times, and he'd always tell me, you know, I'm gonna tell Baby and them about you. And
That's
so,
a chance that they took too, because 11 years old signing a 11-year-old rapper, like that. Yeah.
And Baby and them, you wasn't about to be on Cash Money talking about what Chris Cross and them was talking about. You wasn't about to, you wasn't about to be, you wasn't gonna make it. You wasn't gonna make it. You wasn't gonna make it with those ABC 1, 2, 3s over there. So you had to figure it out. So I knew the difference from being at school and with my homies and rapping for them, and what would make them ooh, 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 and I. And I would notice how much the value bar raises when it came to having to do a rap for Baby and them, knowing that they not about to ooh and ah for nothing, y'all just ooh and ah for. And so I got to really, so that made me who I am now.
Now, did you have clean
I mean, as far as cussing?
Yeah.
I didn't cuss in my music. I don't think I ain't cussed till I was about 21 or something. Yeah, you know, my mama never told me not to. It's just
now
that.
everything is bleeped out. It's almost an instrumental.
Yeah, I already know. I was trying to tell somebody the other day. I was like, bro, I don't think they even know what a radio version is.
You have to go back and
you have to
rap another word
back
in the
that
place
thing
of
up.
to make it.
Back that man. What? Julie was the king at it. He was the king at it. I was like, he would always like, how did he even? He would make up the quick. Like he knew how to do it real well.
Well, you was the youngest, clearly. On
of
Cash
the group,
Money. How was that like being in the studio with all of those ones that's so much older?
Even though they were so older, their bonds were, your age didn't matter. You fell right in. They embraced the fact that they had a kid around.
Now, how did your mother feel about like you being in the studio? Because I'm quite sure y'all was in the studio late.
My mom had no problem with me working. She knew that was work.
Missing
you work, because she already knew that. As long as I knew that, no matter how long you in there, you do know that you're going to school tomorrow. So no matter what you rapped about tonight and how many songs y'all did, I don't want to even hear the beat. I don't want to hear the name of them, none of that. But I know that Miss Anderson has a test tomorrow, and you better pass it.
In 2005, you became the president of Cash Money, and you had Young Money, too. Walk me through that period.
I think just what I was able to do was what gave Baby and Slim the confidence to even consider me to be, you know what I mean? But then again, Baby always, he always treated me as a son from day one. So he always looked at, like, man, I'm always, whatever I build, I'm only building it to give to Wayne.
What made you even want to form Young Money?
I started doing these mixtapes in New Orleans, and we were calling ourselves the Squad Up. And the way that took off, because that was just me and some homies that I told, tired of y'all just being homies. Now y'all rappers today. I'm gonna write this. Your name is this. This is your part. Your name is this. This is your part. Your name. Oh, you actually got a part too. Oh, thanks for helping. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you good. You got something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once I noticed that, you know what, that worked. Baby always looked at that as, Wayne doing his little mixtape stuff in the city, he kind of looked at that as how my mama back then, how my mama looked at me and rapping. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you do your little rap stuff, that's cute, but you're gonna be this. So where it got to where now when we doing show, we gotta do shows, he's noticing that, you know, like, that, man, our Cash Money material we running, they won't hear you do that you've been putting out on these mixtapes though. And when he noticed that, this is something, you know what I mean? So that also made me step back and look and notice that, okay, I do know how to lead, I do know how to bring people together, and I also do know how to better them.
Now, how old were you when you had?
We started the squad probably when I was about 17, I want to say something like that, probably around that. They trying to figure out, who represent you? We trying to just holler at you. We trying to get you to do this, rap that mixtape. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to get the whole group. We can't pay for that. You know what I mean? And so that's when I also, again, that led me to know that I can probably do this on a bigger scale. And that's what formed Young Money.
In 2007, they say that you did over 100 collaborations.
Features, yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's unheard of. That's just in 2007.
You said what?
Had to be breaking in the dough.
I was only acknowledged for 77 of them, but no, it was over 100.
Yeah. I don't even think it was another artist playing on the radio.
Now that was real. That's real. That was an amazing moment, amazing time. That was true. I remember being able to get in my car and just turn the radio on. I don't care if I got the station wrong. I could have switched to a pop station by mistake. I'm still on that motherfucker.
But that's how dope you gotta know that you are, because it was a time where they would split it up if you were on too many records. Like, that's crazy.
I knew that fact. So to get around that fact is to murder it, to be
you can't
undeniable.
deny it. It's like,
that was my goal.
How do we pick? We can't even pick because
always my goal from day one, by being in a group, by trying to impress older people with my music, my work, my lyrics. That's what took my lyrics to where they are as well. But knowing that still at 12 and at 11, Stunner is about to come ask me, let me hear what you got. He want to hear what he like and what he loves, and what he know. You know what I mean? So that's what that helped me so much. That helped me so much because that not only in any form of life, because now whatever I was put to, I will overachieve it on purpose.
2007, major year. I mean, he had a major career, but that's big.
It was big, but also I did all those speeches and all that, but they still, to me, I was still never interesting enough for them as in not my fans, but as in the popular world or whatever. I was still I watched them. So when I was given the opportunity, I was probably, like, oh, I was nervous. Like, I better execute. And then also it was like, when you get those, usually you just get the song and the artist is like, man, do you?
Right,
you know, like,
right.
Kill it. But
yeah,
they had that, they had it laid out. Yeah, so it was like, yeah, I was like,
get out of here, I know that's
I gotta kill it. Yeah, exactly, I was like, I gotta kill it. And so I was hoping that
so
I did it.
they had, this is a format, like, okay,
But it made it easier for me. I made sure that every verse I ever made, I never write it is because I always vision myself doing it on stage.
So you get in the booth and you just freestyle?
All right. I don't know, I'm just going in and do it. No, I think it out. Yeah, I think it out. I think it out, but I just physically, I don't write it down.
Okay.
I just go in there and do it, so therefore I could change it on the fly.
That's a gift. Everybody can't do that.
So
like,
I didn't know. I know when I got that verse, though, that opportunity, I was like, well, you better every line. I told myself, please have at least one line in here that you could. You know what I mean?
And I did. You're